distance learners. I hope you guys are doing well today. So I want to talk about what an informational text is. So this whole week we've been talking about, we started off the week talking about free speech after reading an article about the First Amendment, which is where we get our right and protections for free speech in this country. Then we had to do a critical thinking assignment where we got to talk about our own opinions on free speech. And then today we're going to be talking a little bit more about the details of that article itself. So the article that you read on Monday, which is also attached in our module for today, again, so you can access it if you need a refresher, is an informational text. So let's talk about what that means. An informational text is used to inform or to explain something to the reading audience. So, as you were reading that article, you noticed that it was explaining situations where the First Amendment has been tested or where rulings by the Supreme Court have been decided. So, in that case, that is an excellent example of an informational text because the purpose or reason that it was identified or even labeled as an informational text is because it's giving information. So there are 5 different types of different text structures, which is how or what or the form or way an article is written that we are also going to talk about today. These are definition and description informational text, problem and solution informational text, sequencing informational text, comparison and contrasting informational text, and cause and effect. First, though, before we get a lot into those, what exactly is structure in an informational text? Structure in an informational text is the way that the text is written, like I mentioned a second ago. Specifically, how the information within a text is organized. So things like titles, headings, graphs, pictures, bolded words, indexes, tables of contents, etc. They help us to use and access and understand the information in an informational text more easily. So let's talk about some of these different structures that we see. The first one we see is descriptive or definition informational text. So this one is often found in textbooks, and it's where a paragraph is devoted to defining a complex term or idea. The concept is initially defined and then expanded on or given more examples. So this should sound kind of familiar to you if you read our article from Monday and reread it today. So some signal words are things that give us clues or tell us what we're looking at. Some of them are is, for example, involves, can be defined, an example, for instance, in fact, etc., etc. So if you see some of those words, it might mean that is a descriptive informational text. So you know what you should be looking for. Problem and solution. This is another type of informational text. So the text will introduce a problem and then it'll give a couple of solutions to that text there. So if you notice that it says one of the problems related to this world is the deforestation of the Amazon. A couple of the solutions or things that might fix it are, and then it gives details on those. That would be an example of a problem and solution informational text. Some signal words for that are a problem is, a solution is, the problem is solved by, potential alternative is, etc., etc. So if you see some of those words and you see this kind of structure, you might know that it's a problem and solution informational text. The next one is a sequence or time informational text. It says the main ideas supporting details are written in a specific order. So this would be especially something you'd be likely to see in a social studies class where the article progresses chronologically, which means in order, and discusses the things as they took in the order that they took place. So some signal words are first, second, third, now, then, before, etc., etc., that show the passing of time. All right, second to last one is a comparison and contrast. So comparison and contrast are where 2 different topics are introduced in an article, and it points out similarities or things they have in common and differences, things that they have in differences. And some signal words for that are things like different, for, same as. You can see the list right there. I'm making a video. So some other things that the last one that we want to talk about is cause and effect. It shows a relationship between the cause of something and the effect that follows as a result. So some signal words are so that, because of, thus, unless, therefore, etc., etc. So if it introduced something and then showed something that follows after that, then that would be an example of a cause and effect article. All right, so this is the article you should have read here. You guys have access to this via Canvas. You can click it right here. Let's look at our assignment for today. So what you're going to do is you're going to answer these questions based off of this article. So it asks you, which category do you think the article falls under? Remember, we just went over our 5 categories, and it has them listed here as well. And then it asks you, after you've reread the article, so you'll need to go double check and make sure your answer was right, what category are you sure that it falls under? Do you see any signal words? Remember, signal words are listed here. Signal words can help us determine whether we think what type of category it is. And then headings. Let's look for some headings. Headings are things like the title and different bolded or larger words that introduce a new topic. So I want you to list the names of any headings that you see in the article. Then I want you to answer, why do you think the author chose to use headings in this article? Do they help you understand the article? How? The next one, what graphics, which are things like images, do you see in the article? Describe them. And then why or what do you believe the purpose of those graphics or images is? All right, so that's all you're going to do for today's assignment. You'll reread the article and answer these questions. If you have any questions, please let me know.